30 seconds.
Yeah.
You're
Good.
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order, City of Harvard Administration Committee, Wednesday, August 12th, 2026, 6:30 p.m. Roll call, we have Alderman Albertson, Alderman Lavallee, and Alderwoman Haderlein are here. Alderman Kriete is not going to be able to join us tonight. And we have a guest, Alderwoman Platt-Miller, and then the mayor and city administrator both here as well, as is Clayton Bernacca, our community development guy. Okay. So item number 3 would be if someone was going to join us by electronically, and that's not happening. So going on to number 4, public comment. So if anyone has any comments they'd like to make about items that are not on the agenda, now would be the time for you to come forward and share those with us. Okay, no public comment. So item number 5 is to approve minutes of July 22nd, 2026. Did everybody have a chance to review those? And is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passed. Item number 6 is to approve closed session meeting minutes of July 22nd, 2026. Did everybody have a chance to review those? Any comments or questions? Is there a motion to approve those?
I'll make motion to approve the minutes.
And I'll second that.
Thank
Closed
you.
session.
Thank you.
July 22nd.
Okay, thank you, John. Thank you, Jay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passed. Excuse me. Item number 7, discussion/action on JBKS Corporation relocation of licenses premises. JBKS Corporation is requesting approval to relocate its licensed premises from 335 South Division Street, Harvard, to 21007 McGuire Road in Harvard. I believe Sheila Henson's here, so thank you.
Can you just state your name and address for the record?
Is that on?
Probably
You
not.
just pull it towards you. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sheila Henson. My address is 21003 McGuire Road, Harvard, Illinois. First, I'd like to say a couple things. I apologize for not being at the previous meeting on which this request was voted on, and to answer your questions. And second, I'd like to say thank you for allowing me to speak and answer questions today. Do you want me to explain this?
That would be great. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
335 South Division is the old currency exchange, as we all know, our landmarks here. And our family rented that to a family, a Hispanic family, who opened up a gaming parlor. And so they rented the premises, and they got the license, and they did everything to code, and I know that they were working really well with the city. They couldn't make it. They wanted out of their lease, and approached Kelly and myself, and we were trying to figure out how we could help them get out of their lease versus having them pay, extra money. So we asked them if they would be willing to give up their liquor license. And they said yes. So in lieu of them paying, basically buying themselves out of the lease, they gave us their liquor license. When we requested the liquor license, Kelly and I, and I'll be very honest, did not do our research and did not realize that. Well, we just thought, okay, here's the liquor license. We're just going to take it with us no matter where we go. We can go to, the Stratford, or we could go to, Kelly's restaurant, and we could take it with us. Well, we approached Deb and the mayor and quickly realized that that was not the case. So finally I said, well, what can we do with this? And so I suggested a floating liquor license thing, again, that we could take that, the chamber's doing some events in town and we could use it for that. Well, that was not feasible either. So we needed a hard location. So because 21007 McGuire Road is the address of the Stratford Banquet Hall, I gave up my liquor license for the Stratford about a year ago. To be very honest with you, I'm tired of doing banquets. I'm tired of that business. I didn't want to do it anymore. So I gave up my liquor license. So when we had to have a hard location, we approached the mayor and Deb and said, okay, let's move it back to the Stratford, and we could use it there. In reality, yes, we could use it there, but no, I don't really want to use it. We have had some events there in the past 3 or 4 years where the chamber, the wrestling, milk days, where they'll come in and anything that they spend on liquor and even food, I give it back. I don't have at this point in my life, I don't want to do all that hard work, and so we do the minimal we can. We would take that liquor license and whatever profits we would make off that, I have given it back to the chamber. Have given it back to Milk Days. We donate a lot of that back. So my intention with this liquor license is not to use it in a fully and functional way, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I do know that, there could be a possibility that in order to have a gaming permit or gaming license, you have to have a liquor license. Well, we've had a liquor license at the Stratford for 33 years, and I've never, ever wanted to put gaming in there. And that, of course, we have the child care center there, too. Right. And so my request is to move this license from 335 North Division to the Stratford so that we could have a hard address and use it to give back. I'd be glad to answer any questions. I'm hoping that I'm articulating that so that you understand that right. I don't want to lose this license because I'll be very honest, it's a $10,000 license,
Right.
And so we were trying to help out our tenants by, taking that license in lieu of monies, and then we also want to help those organizations that come to the Stratford by giving back. So.
Yeah. Well, it helps me a lot knowing that, that until a year ago, you'd had a liquor license there for 33 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I appreciate you coming to explain, because that was the whole issue at the council was.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I didn't have a problem with it, but I want to say the ones that voted against it voted mostly because of the daycare thing. And I don't know. I mean, we already voted it down. Is there something new here that can get another vote?
Well, the chairwoman allowed this to be presented, and so what could happen is the committee could send it back to council for reconsideration.
Possible.
So just to talk about the childcare center, we're regulated by DCFS, a state, is now a new organization called IDEC, but it's all kind of, we are regulated by that, and our hours at the childcare center is 6 a.m. to 5:30. They will not allow me to bring in even like an outside dance class until 5:30 hits. And so therefore, all the children are gone, the staff is gone. And if I wanted to do something during the day, it would have to be after 5:30 when there are no children present.
What's the regulating organization? IDEC?
It's called IDEC. It's Illinois Department of Early Education, of Early Childhood
Or childhood
Education.
education,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, and my concern with, and why I voted no was because there were a lot of questions that I didn't know the answer to. And the daycare issue being one of them, but given that you've had a liquor license there for 33 years, that answers that question, it's never been a problem, so.
Then, as Lavallee mentioned, the concerns I had were honestly with the daycare operation during the same time, but if you are fully restricted from doing any
Yeah.
business during that time frame,
Yes,
that does get into it, because the issue we had as well was when you have this license, the license itself doesn't say you can't serve alcohol during the day.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, well, how do we stop, day drinkers coming in and getting drunk and running over children in the parking lot?
right. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you about a scenario of what happened like 15 years ago. We've been open 26 years. I had a dance group wanting to rent the facility, and so I allowed them to come in at 4:30, and I just didn't think it was a problem, and so DCFS had come in to do an inspection, and the dance group was there. And so to be very honest, I was written up, and, so therefore I know specifically that I cannot have anything. And even the chamber, sometimes typically they'll do their annual dinner, and they want it at 5:30 in the afternoon, and I say no, because I need that 5:30 to 6 o'clock so everybody can empty the building before they can come in. So I know firsthand that I am not allowed to do that, and I haven't done that at one time. So we're very restricted.
I mean, that answers most of my concerns, to be honest.
Okay. Any other questions?
My questions for Mike and Deb is, would that require a different vote level to pass because it's coming back?
That would be a question for attorneys, but,
To send it to agenda, no.
yeah,
At,
just,
at council, we can.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't have any more questions. If
Okay.
we're good to make a motion on
Yeah.
this or not.
You
I'll make a
okay.
motion to submit this to council.
For approval to relocate the license
Yes.
from 335 South Division Street to 21007 McGuire Road in Harvard.
Thank you for
Okay.
filling that out.
Yes.
I'll second Alderman's motion the way he just stated it.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Any other questions?
Okay. Just
Okay.
please show up to that one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll make sure Deb reminds me. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to
Yeah.
speak.
Absolutely. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay. Moving that on to council. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sheila. Okay, item number 8 is review of Chapter 11, abatement process for repeat code violation offenders.
One quick note, Sheila, you're going to probably get bored to death sitting through the rest of this. You don't have to stay. No.
No. Oh, no.
Thanks, Sheila.
I think it should be a requirement if you want to come and ask for something, you've got to suggest yourself.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you for saying that, Jay. So,
Okay,
yeah, we have a memo here from Matt. Do you want to?
yeah, sure. So a few meetings ago, we discussed, actually, I don't recall exactly when it was, but one of the questions that came up when it comes to code violations is how we discourage repeat offenders from, or how we control that, and that this abatement process with the letter having to go out, then the ticket, then another letter and a ticket, and that type of thing. So in talking with legal counsel on that, our Chapter 11 nuisance abatement and continuing violations, the way it's written would not, the language needs to be cleaned up in order for us to be able to issue a letter one time, and then repeat offenders with these types of violations could just be ticketed without having an abatement letter again. So that's what this memo is from Attorney Walters, and he indicates in here how he recommends we amend the chapter so that the language is clear, concise, and that when code enforcement does take care of those abatements and then subsequent offenses, that they're following the chapter correctly. So the ask would be to recommend to City Council the amendments as stated by legal counsel for section 1112B4 and 1114.
So it's adding section 4,
Yes.
repeat violations language, and then adding the penalties in section 14.
Yes, so there was a distinguishing definition between continuing violations and repeat violations.
Any questions? Discussion? Do you have a comment?
Yeah, so
Clayton?
I love how our attorney Matt defined the continuing violations and repeat violations. It really gives kind of clarity at what each one of them means. So an example of a repeat violation would be when we send out a notice for grass, say, we send out a notice for grass, and after a week or the given amount of time on the abate nuisance notice, the grass is continued to grow and hasn't been taken care of, and we issue a citation. And then shortly thereafter, it gets their attention, they mow the grass. Well, 2 or 3 weeks later, we're back to the same thing with the same individuals, which would be a repeat violation. Traditionally, it's kind of gone, we've both been directed to go either way. We have issued a citation at that point, but you know, with how our with how our ordinance reads now, that's not really what we should be doing, and we would have to send them an additional notice based on their, you know, they took care of it once, and now it's back. We have to send out another notice, wait a week to issue another citation. So being that the original notice was sent out during the summer months, we've made them aware of our ordinance, and with the restructured verbiage of the ordinance, it would allow us to then issue a citation through the upcoming weeks and months with the repeat offense. So it would be a great tool for us.
So it's, if it's the same nuisance within 3 months.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And another one of those situations that we come across is we send out, it would be for the garbage cans out front of the house, is something that we've been getting complaints on. We send out a notice for that because you're not supposed to have them at the front of the house. And a lot of times they're unaware of that. They, in the next week after garbage pickup, they move them to the side or within their garage. And then, you know, a couple weeks after, it's back out front, you know, because it's easier. And then we would be able to hit that head on as well.
Now, for this, would it be just that, because it says about the condition, let's say it's someone parking on the grass, would it matter that it's the same vehicle or not?
Parking on the grass?
Yes.
Well, we normally state the vehicle on,
Right.
on the notice, but in the notice, they're made aware that you can't park a vehicle on the grass. So I would probably say with a different vehicle, if we're going to issue a citation, we'd have to write it for the vehicle, the different vehicle that's parked on the grass, even though they're aware of it.
Even if it was the same address each time, but 4 different vehicles on the grass?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, another thing that we could do, though,
exactly.
Well,
Right,
what I
right.
think we would need to do is, when we send out the notice, is kind of clean that up to say subsequent violations will be considered immediate, for immediate citation.
right, or eliminate the vehicle altogether and say parking in the grass is prohibited.
Yeah.
And just simple as that.
Right.
And that's something we could do.
And you could do it per address instead of per vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you did the,
Yes.
Now, the 3 months time frame, was that just something we picked, or is that,
That was a recommendation
okay.
from legal.
So,
It's a fair timeframe.
and just to clarify, when we say 3 months, that's saying from the 12th to the 12th, not 90 days.
Yes, because you do your abatement letters and then your subsequent SOFs by date.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And we could even make that 4 months through the grass growing season. But to be honest with you, over that 3-month period, if they get a citation more than once, usually the majority of the time, they get the hint.
Yeah. I assume it's not going to be at the start and at the end only kind of a situation.
Right.
Right.
And that's with anything else, that's a repeat offender. I mean, I don't have.
So if you want to extend that to 4 months, we need to do that. That section would have to be amended from what Attorney Walters has, because he has 3 months in the actual recommendation for the language change.
Yeah, 3 months should be fine.
I think until there's a problem.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's probably like 1 or 2 people.
Right.
Right. Okay. So leave it at 3.
Usually a citation gets their attention.
Well, does the citation restart the clock?
Right. Now, at this point, it does.
I guess that's a
But
question.
after this, it would not.
Well, I'm saying like if you're a repeat offender and you get that bill that second time you violate, does your 3 months start then from there again?
Oh, that's a good question.
I would think it would be from the date of the first notice.
It says 3 months after the issuance of a prior notice of violation or citation, so I would say no.
Right.
Because it was 3 months from the prior notice. So probably the first
The
notice
first
that they
notice,
got
yeah.
of the season would be your.
Would it make more sense to do it from the most recent?
Well, the way I read that is if they're on their
Yeah.
third violation, it would be from the prior
Yeah,
notice, which
right.
would be the second.
Yeah.
Be the one before.
So I agree with what you're stating.
Yeah.
It is from the last notice you
Yeah.
Okay.
received, not the initial notice.
So your second notice would go back to your first
Yeah,
would
it's
go
just
back to
continuing
the-
from every most recent one you got. Okay.
Yes, it's always it's a rolling 3
rolling,
month.
right,
Yeah. Just
until
good.
they stop doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they go past 3 months, then it would restart the clock, right?
And if that's the case, we don't have to worry about the seasons.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm hoping people aren't watching the calendar going, okay, I'm going to wait till this date and then I'm going to do it again and then.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Hopefully they have better things to do with their time. Right.
I mean, the way Christmas lights go in this town, maybe not. So
Okay, any other comments, questions about this? Is there a motion to recommend the amendments to, repeat code violation offender?
I'll make a second.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Jay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, it's going to council. Thank you. Okay, item number 9. Discussion action on fine and fee review for code enforcement violations.
Okay, so this one goes along with what we just discussed at the same meeting back in May. We were also asked to do a history, 3-year history on the top offenses that we write settlement of fines for and repeat offenders. So I laid those all out in the memo with the data, and then also provided the spreadsheets with the information. And the color coding just basically shows who those repeat offenders were and for what violation. And so you can see, kind of have an idea of which ones didn't really have repeat offenders after they were issued the fine, and then who did, which offenses are more prone to repeat offenders even with the fine. And I believe the intent was to determine if the fines were a significant deterrent. So that information is there for you to make that determination.
And I would just comment that on the failure to maintain property, it said no repeat offenders, and there are several on that list.
Failure to maintain property.
That's the first page of the list.
3 repeat offenders?
There's several. I mean, Merit Best, LLC, Ramiro Rodriguez, Celine Finance.
This is structure, so if you look at the actual address, for example, on item number 11, I'm sorry, number 12, you'll see that's 206 West Blackman. Those are all basically, they're not repeat offenses, they're all separate offenses.
But they're 2 months apart.
Yes, but they're still separate offenses, so,
Well, there's failure to paint,
right.
failure to maintain. I mean, they sound like the same offense.
Yeah, and so it was a little bit.
Is it just failure to maintain a different part of the
Failure
structure?
to maintain is, basically failure to maintain can be anything on the structure, correct? Yeah, so it's a little bit hard to, say like, did they fail to paint 5 times? No, they failed to paint once. So it's not like a repeat offense.
They just
it's
failed
the
to
same
paint a
offense, they're
different
just not
part of
taken
the
care of.
structure.
No, they just haven't done it yet, right? So they were cited multiple times for not doing it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So it wasn't a repeat offense, it was the
It was
same
just
offense, they
cited for
just
the-
never-
okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
So it was a little difficult to try to determine, how many you
Okay.
should put down for that.
Okay, and is that the issue with like the Merit Best LLC? Ramiro Rodriguez, were those, I'm guessing, maybe also ones
Yeah, they
where
were
they
two
just
separate, either 2 separate types of maintenance or the same maintenance offense that just wasn't taken care of.
wasn't taken care of?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a continued
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
versus
A repeat.
Repeat
A
offense,
new
right.
one. Okay, gotcha.
Which goes back to why we need to define it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So our fines right now for repeat offenders are just the same as what they were for the original offense. They don't get doubled or tripled or something.
They
like
do
that.
get doubled,
They get
right?
doubled.
You can double them. But also with the change in the ordinance, the restructured verbiage in the ordinance, we would be able to fine them every day,
Okay.
consistently without sending another notice.
Okay.
So,
So for example, if you look at failure to cut grass, if you look at that spreadsheet, it's the second page.
Yep.
Instead of the green, let's say look at the yellow highlighted person, they
Yep.
got a $50 fine each time. You could do 50 the first time and automatically go to 100 the second, correct? Because now it's a repeat offense.
Okay.
And so that might be more of a deterrent as well.
Okay.
It gives code enforcement a little more latitude.
I know, Clayton, the other day we were talking briefly about the issues we have with the mail being delayed for people. How are these citations being formatted in the way? Are they being told, hey, you have to pay us this, by X date and every day you're late from there is on top of, or is it from whatever date we put on when we post date it?
So the delay is giving us some issues with the mail going to a whole different city and then back to Harvard. The citations are 7 days, and then the citations are doubled after 7 days. Which a lot of times, unfortunately, by the time they get the citation, they're coming in and being like, "This is already doubled. What do we do?" You know, and our response is the issue taken care of now? And if it is, we can go to the base citation. We can do that in-house. As far as if we understand the delay, the issue's taken care of, and we'll just go, because still the issue was there when the ticket was sent, right? So being that there's a delay in the mail, we normally take it down to the base price, unless it's not taken care of when they come in.
Okay.
And then at that case, it's doubled already, and it's like, well, you should have taken care of it before you came in, and we could have helped you out here, you know?
Well, I guess I would like to see if we're gonna redo the, from the last motion, if that helps with this, without doing anything with this right now.
Yeah.
Because I would think if they're getting a notice sooner, on a repeat offender, and we have to go through the whole process, that this might take care of itself, maybe?
I would agree.
Yeah.
I also think that, after looking through here, and seeing what the citation fees are in other municipalities, we're really where we need to be, based on where the other municipalities are. For property maintenance, we're at $100, and that's top end at other municipalities. Grass is where the others are for the most part. The garbage cans are pretty similar, and parking is pretty standard, $25 citation. And this states garbage, that is, on how that is on here, that's the garbage cans in front of the house. We can issue much stronger tickets for actual garbage around the property, through the property maintenance code. So depending on if it's not just their garbage cans out front of the house, if they actually have actual garbage bags or rubbish and items like that, we can give them $100 tickets for that.
And we've had that issue before where someone flat out just didn't pay for service, and they had garbage just piling up on the property, which is a huge,
Yeah.
environmental thing.
Yeah.
Attracts
yeah.
rodents.
So, yeah. It's a
all the
public
things
health
we don't
issue.
want.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Any other, yeah.
I like John's idea. I think we're kind of where we probably need to be right now. If anything, I know people complain that the fines are too high, but they do get a time frame to address before they're paying a fine.
Right.
I mean, let's see where these land. If we do see a decrease, because that's the intended goal. We're not here to make money off of this. We're here to,
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree. Okay. No action then. Any other comments? Food for thought? No? Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Clayton.
You're welcome.
Okay, that brings us to our next agenda item, number 10. Discussion action on mining fees.
So another memo in your very large packet. hopefully you've had time to read. This explains a little bit of background on funding sources that we're going to be receiving in November from mining, and then some information about the township and the tax levies and how that all works. And then just some other details on the mining operations, when they're supposed to start, and the possible paths of travel. And Kyle Walters is here to discuss this as requested on the agenda.
Okay.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon, evening, I guess
Name and
now.
address.
Kyle Walter,
Sorry.
11975 Coon Trail Road, Harvard, Illinois.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good evening to you all. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Kyle Walter. I am the Highway Commissioner for Chemung Township. I'm here tonight because the city of Harvard has signed a developmental contract with Amrise for the mining rights that are within the city limits, but they're also in Chemung Township. Unfortunately, the township was not included in those contract negotiations or any conversations with Amrise or the city of Harvard, which is very disappointing. Under the current agreement, the city of Harvard collects 100% of the per ton extraction fees to offset municipal impacts. However, with that mechanism to share those resources, Chemung Township is left holding the maintenance bill for all adjacent township roads. Those heavy aggregate mining trucks will damage all roads going to and from this facility, no matter which invisible boundary line they cross. They will inevitably impact our township roads surrounding this site because independent haulers will take the quickest, legal, most efficient route. They get paid by the load, so for them, time is money, faster is better. To put the infrastructure impact into perspective here, the city of Harvard is responsible for about 2/3 of a mile of road affected by this project. Chemung Township, on the other hand, faces as much as 7.3 miles of road. None of these roads that we're talking about are designed Class 2 routes, built to withstand continuous semi-truck traffic. So we will have a structural and financial problem as we go forward. Now, we want to work with the city of Harvard. We want to. We want to be good neighbors, but as an elected official, it's my primary duty to protect our local infrastructure and taxpayers' dollars. While we absolutely want to work with the city of Harvard, we cannot and will not allow Chemung Township to subsidize a city-approved mining operation with nothing in return. So let's get to work. Let's fix this thing so we don't have to navigate a logistical and legal complication in the future. Thank you.
So Kyle, did you have any specific ideas of what that might look like?
Well, I have a couple that come to mind.
Okay.
I think they're both fair, and I think the first one that I would propose to all of you is, all of you know that Chemung Township pays the city of Harvard, whatever it is, 38% out of our road and bridge fund. Comes straight from the tax collector and goes straight to you guys. What I would recommend is we make an IGA that once that tax money comes here to the city of Harvard, you guys turn around and ship it back to Chemung Township, but you keep 100% of Amrise. So whatever that money that comes in from Amrise, it's 100% the city of Harvard's. It's just now, instead of Chemung Township paying Harvard, that's coming from Amrise itself. We would get that money back into Chemung Township. And, we could do an IGA for 20 years, like what the contract is with Amrise, something like that. I think that would be very fair on both sides of the table.
Carl, we had an agreement with Amrise for 20 years prior to this,
Correct.
and you never say anything. But now that we're getting money from Amrise, all of a sudden it's a problem.
Well, I've only been the highway commissioner for a year and 3 months. So I understand your frustration, but I can't comment on past,
But, is there precedent for this? Do other towns do this around that have mining operations in them?
It's a great question.
It seems to me, looking at looking at the county map with the township's roads and the county roads, the main route is a county road.
Sure,
Okay?
100% agree with that.
Your concern with bridges, I get it. But say the bridge on Graff, it's posted already anyway.
Sure.
So it's got problems.
No doubt.
That you knew it had problems. The bridge on Oak Grove was done fairly recently. I think within the last 10 years.
I'm not so much worried about the bridge. I'm worried about the roads themselves. Because they're not class 2 roads. They're not built for semis to drive up and down those things hundreds of times a day.
But, the county gets money, you get money from the county to do these roads, do you not?
No.
No.
What do you mean the county?
The county, McHenry County.
We get MFT funds,
Yeah.
but that's.
Just like we get MFT funds.
Right, and that's what we
We got a hell of
have.
a lot more roads to maintain than you do.
Your budget's a lot bigger than ours as well.
I don't think it is.
Well, then you have a levy, right, for
Correct.
road and bridge
Correct.
fund,
And
right?
we have
And
been
that's
doing that.
what we would get a portion of that to cover the roads in the
Correct.
city, correct?
Correct.
Okay, how much is that each year?
It varies every year depending on what we put into that fund. The fund was running low for this budget year, so I put a little more into that. I think it's gonna end up being like 80,000, something like that.
Okay,
Where next year, obviously, if I don't put that much in there,
Yeah.
that can drop substantially, you know?
Yeah.
But it's somewhere, if I had to guess, between 50 and 80,000.
and the voters a few years ago did approve an increase for the road fund, the township road fund for Chemung Township.
I'm sure they probably
Yeah,
did.
yeah, which was huge. Just that people in Harvard voted to increase their taxes because they knew, roads are an issue.
Correct.
Well, I feel like I'm looking at the information we have here, and I'm having a hard time picturing, like, putting everything together, like I can kind of figure out just from the annexation colors where their facility's going to be, and but it would be really helpful to have information on which are the county roads.
Go into Athena. It's easier.
Here,
to
I got
see.
a map right here, guys.
This is too dark, not dark enough.
We can do Athena.
Yeah, which are the county roads? Oh, thank you. Yeah, so Lawrence, so to the extent that we can direct vehicles to Lawrence.
And this is,
Yeah, but go to the
to the main page. This one. Drainage, active transportation.
try that.
Historical TIF, plan development, roadway construction, crime, and property.
Well, I think if you look at the Athena and have it on
On the roads. and
the
details.
roads instead of the satellite. Yeah, because they've got them then color-coded. And that then corresponds with the map here that Kyle has. So looking at that, okay, now if you,
Where do you want to go?
I want to see where the facility's going to be. So it's on Lawrence Road.
Yeah, it's
Right
that
in
whole-
there. Yeah.
Right there.
And I'm wondering if we can put some restriction on truck traffic having to utilize Lawrence Road.
Well,
Because
Lawrence-
that is.
Lawrence Road is a Class 2 truck route.
Yeah, it is.
It absolutely is.
Right.
That's what they should be using.
And that's what the county.
100%, I
Yeah.
don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I think we all know that once these independent haulers come in, they're gonna go the quickest route possible, you know, and if that means taking Oak Grove Road to head over to Hebron, that's what they're gonna do. If that means going up Littleton to State Line and heading up to Lake Geneva, that's what they're gonna do.
Well, but that to me is an enforcement issue.
Right.
Not that we have to make those roads Class 2 compatible, because that's cost prohibitive. You know, I think from my standpoint, putting restrictions on which roads they can use, and drivers will figure out pretty quickly that if they're getting pulled over and ticketed when they're driving on roads that they should not be.
I believe the contract dictates what, roads they need to use.
I think it gives us the authority to do that. I don't think it specifically names the roads, but I do believe we do have the authority to do
Per the
it.
conversation we had with them, and they do have the intent later on to build a train loading station as well,
Yeah, they want a
Right.
spur.
which would also cut down on truck traffic. But when that happens, we don't know
Yeah,
yet.
and you know, what
Right.
number is that? Does it go
To-
from
to
1,000
Kyle's
trucks
point,
to
though.
750? You know what I mean?
To Kyle's point, there are likely to be rogue drivers that
Yeah.
don't use the proper
Right.
roads.
Right.
But then they would certainly be subjected to traffic enforcement.
I mean, I'd like to, this is all theoretical right now. I mean, this is, they had a permit to mine there for 20 years and still have not mined anything. So I don't think it's,
And it's gonna be a couple of years before they do
yeah,
it anyways.
before they do anything here.
So a couple things to keep in mind, with the first proposal, the road and bridge tax that we collect through the levy is state statute required. So to undo that is a process. It also only gives the city enough funding per year to cover the salary of one public works employee. That does not include benefits. And that is to cover the about 93.64 miles of road that we take care of within in the city limits. I would not recommend giving up that funding source at this time with the argument that the mining hasn't started. The second option, or the second point, that we will be collecting mining fees at $100,000 per year. That starts in November. However, recall, and you have in front of you a spreadsheet that I didn't include in the packet. If they start mining within the first 5 years, we will be refunding that money with royalty credits. So if we give it away now, we have to refund it later, right? So,
Right. Yeah. It's
um,
money that we won't get later.
Right. So, and then it drops to 75% in year 5 and then so forth. So, again, mining hasn't started. If it starts within the first 5 years, we're on the hook for 500,000 in royalty credits back. So it's just something to keep in mind
Yeah.
when you're making your decision.
We also haven't dedicated where this money goes in the budget when we do get it though either.
Correct.
So that's a whole different conversation.
Correct.
Yes, that likely happened during budgeting cycle later, really kind of February timeframe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sympathetic to the situation, but I just don't think we're at the point now where there's an issue. Yeah.
I mean, I think the bigger issue you have is enforcement on like Oak Grove Road if they are gonna go north into Wisconsin. And that's that's a whole different ballgame of a problem we're talking about. And I do get it, that is terrible. Like, it really is, because that road's gonna just go. But if, if they watch their P's and Q's and do what they're supposed to, hopefully everything's gonna be fine, but, knock on wood for that, right?
Exactly.
But thank you for making us aware.
Yeah.
I think that's the bigger piece here. And I don't think we're opposed to having these conversations in the future when the
Right.
problems do start coming up. Because one thing I'm curious of is, like, for Lawrence Road specifically, if they are using it, if it has, like, whatever its lifespan is, and it's only going to what percentage of that before it needs repaved, that's in theory, some money should be going towards helping support that. We have a section of it we have to do as well, so some sort of agreement potentially then. But I think we're counting too soon on all that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that,
Yeah.
you guys understand that this is going to probably cause a problem for Chemung Township in the future.
Right.
Especially when they do start mining and these trucks do start barreling down these roads.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Agreed.
So,
So,
alrighty. Thank
to
you all
be
for your time.
continued, yeah. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
And here's your map. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okey doke, oops. Okay, item number 11, discussion, action, Civic Plus upgrades.
Okay, another lengthy memo that was in your packet. So I've been working with Civic Plus over the past year. As you know, we had budgeted for some website upgrades and some improvements that we did end up completing. And in the meantime, we are required by state statute to become ADA accessible. We were given an extension of 1 year till April 2027, which was nice because the how we were going to make that happen was a little bit of a challenge. We had a couple options. We could purchase software that we operated ourselves in-house, where each document was sent through this software for compliance before it was uploaded to the website, which we were working on. And in the meantime, Civic Plus came to us. We now have a rep who actually is local. She lives in McHenry, which is really nice. The last one was out in San Diego, so a lot easier to talk to Erin here in Illinois. She reached out, and Civic Plus is partnering with a new platform, and new company, and they'll be migrating their platform, as well as upgrading some of their AI capabilities. And one of the options we have is to purchase a program that basically does everything for us on the back end. So anything we upload is automatically ADA compliant. It meets the statutes, the federal ADA requirements. And in the process of upgrading, these modules have, there's two packages of modules. There's a 12-core module and a 22-core module, which was also in the packet. Some of the things that this new program is going to be able to do is automatic translation services. So I believe it was 10 different languages that basically if a user went online and wanted to see something in Polish, they could hit Polish and it would automatically translate it to Polish, Spanish, all the different languages that are made available. And that would significantly reduce our in-house translation time, because as it is now, Jeanette does the minutes, she forwards them to Sadi translates them, and then they go on to the website. We would not have to do that anymore.
Wow.
When we uploaded it, it would upload in English, and then the software would allow a user to come in and pick any language they want, and it would automatically translate it for them. Some of the other packages, or some of the other modules that would be beneficial to us would be real estate locator. So currently, right now, Joe's working on our website, uploading information on empty parcels, empty buildings, houses for sale, that type of thing. This module will do all of that for us. in a much more efficient way. There's also facilities and reservation module. Right now, we use Rec Desk for $8,500 a month. We would not need, I'm sorry, a year, yes, sorry. That's a lot.
I was going to say, oh my God.
Wow.
Price went
Expensive
up.
software. $8,500 a year. We would not need that anymore. This would, this all-inclusive package would do that for us, as well as other smaller things like job postings and bids, opinion polls and blogs, so surveys and that type of thing we wanted to do that would assist us in creating those. So basically, the information I've put in here outlines those costs of our annual website administration, which we have to do every year, and then AudioEye, which we have already implemented, and that's that little ADA icon at the bottom where you hit that on websites, and it does the different fonts and types of things for you. And then if we were to opt into this new package, then it would upgrade us to these 22, yes, yep. This 22 module program that would allow us to comply with our ADA requirements that we need to upgrade within the next year, as well as provide us with some other services that we could use. So this would be something that they would offer to us now at the rates that you see in the proposal, but we would not have to pay the fees until after May 1, above and beyond what we've already budgeted. So basically, they would hold off on those because they know we're working within a budget that we haven't set yet. But they would start working on those upgrades now. It's about a 3 to 4 month process. There's also training on that for employees as well on how to use all of those different services that they're going to provide.
A few questions I have here. One is, with them utilizing AI tools for translations, is Civic Plus willing to pay the fees if we get slammed with a lawsuit saying something was wrong?
I believe that we are covered through the fact that we do contract with them, but I can find that out. In fact, I should add that our rep, Erin, has agreed. I didn't have her come to this meeting because I figured if she was going to come to a meeting, it would be city council. She is more than willing to come to city council at the end of the month and answer those questions and discuss more of this, because this is not my area of expertise. So if we would like her to come to city council, we can go ahead and schedule that.
Okay.
And then answer the questions and then make the decision at that time as well.
And the other thing I was wondering too, because I know we partner with the library when using RecDesk right now, would they also migrate to this?
So Joe was talking with the library, and I don't know that they use our rec desk system for their registration. I know they did in the past when we were running the programs with them as partnership, but I think they have their own registration system. But I will double check on that. This would be something we could incorporate, I'm sure, anyway,
Right.
with theirs. It seems to be very, there seems to be a lot of capabilities there, but we can ask that too.
Okay.
We can find that out in the process.
And ultimately, it's a savings
It is ultimately,
by not having the rec desk
yes,
expense.
Yeah, just
which-
that alone, we're getting more for paying less.
right.
Yeah.
At least in the first 2 years, you know,
Yeah.
these are all of these contracts that we have for all of these services are typically a 5% annual
Right.
increase, but
Yeah.
that's a cost of doing business increase, right? So, you know, Rec Desk also has a 5% increase each
Right.
year. So
Yeah.
that would be going up as well.
Right, and we're paying for what, something that is what we need, rather than with all the bells and whistles. Yeah,
It's independent versus something that's all-inclusive.
yeah,
I mean, it's also worth pointing out that RecDesk costs more than Civic Plus does in base.
yeah.
Just,
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
So the doc access is the platform that scans and then uploads everything into ADA compliance. And we don't have that now. That's what I would like to add for compliance. And then the module upgrades is a separate decision as well. The doc access, pretty much we have to do.
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a huge time saver, so. Okay, do we need to take any action on this?
We don't tonight, if
Okay.
you're not comfortable, and I can get a hold of Erin tomorrow, get her on the agenda, if you would be more comfortable with her coming to council before we make a decision. We do need to make a decision on whether or not we're going to move forward so that they can start the platform development this fall, so that it's ready to go for training, and then for live implementation, it takes about 3 months.
Well, I'd be comfortable recommending that we move forward
Okay.
and have that on the council agenda. If,
Yeah, I mean, I'll make
Yeah.
a motion to recommend moving this forward to city council.
thank you, Jay.
Did you want Erin at the meeting as well for
I think,
questions?
yeah, to answer
Okay.
questions, I think would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, John, are you?
Sure.
Okay, you second the motion?
Sure, I second the motion.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Backwards.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, good. So,
That, just so I'm clear, that's referring to city council to move forward with the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
yes. Okay. Okay, item number 12, review establishment of Harvard Arts Commission.
Hey, I did not make this a specific action item because I don't think we're going to be able to do this in one night, but was asked to put it on the agenda as a starting point to start moving forward with figuring out what our Art and Culture Commission is going to look like. So I put a couple of examples in the packet from other communities, and then kind of developed our own, just to get something on paper and a starting point to start modifying, changing, editing, whatever your pleasure is.
Sorry, I'm just getting through the civic
There's,
plus.
there's a lot of information, Deb, and thank you for putting
Yes.
this all together.
That's why I sent it out early.
Yeah.
Yes,
So like half the packet, Civic Plus.
yeah.
This is gonna be separate from council, right? Like tree board, something like that, basically?
It would be another advisory commission to the council.
So I think probably the starting point is, what is the purpose of the Arts and Culture Commission? Right? What is the vision? We were, Alderwoman Platt-Miller and I were talking last week that, this is the one topic on the strategic vision that we have done nothing with, right? So we kind of had a blank slate here on what we want it to look like, and, I think we figure out what the Arts and Culture Commission is going to do, and then from there, I think it all kind of fall into place.
I think, which is probably the reason I'm here, so if I may interject a little bit. Art can be a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And, there's, at Kishwaukee Brewery, there is a Stitch and Bitch group that meets. That's the name of it. That meets on Thursdays. And 3 of the women who knit there submitted their work to the McHenry County Fair. One of them actually won Best in Show. That's art. Starline does some wonderful things and has done some wonderful things in the past. We have murals and things on here. But of course, also art, when Harvard hosted the McHenry County Visitors Bureau, for a lack of a better term, when they hosted the lunch, there were women there who were doing storytelling. And, McHenry County has a huge history with Jim May and with storytelling. These are all forms of art. And I think having an art commission so that we can, we have local artists. We have the Starline building. I mean, how many of those units are rented out? I don't know, to artists that are doing wonderful things. So I think when we look at this, as a council person, I want to make sure that we give this teeth and some funding and a way to make sure that, yes, you know, we're showing the community that we do this. As a community member and as a storyteller and as someone who loves art, I want to make sure that people know we are a welcoming community for artists and for expressing yourselves, and that we want to be able to provide them a platform. And so when I look at that, those are some of the things. And so that is probably going to mean take something from this one and take something from that one and take something from this one. You know, we don't have a theater like Woodstock does. So, you know, public performance is a little more difficult. And yet,
there's performing arts that happen in the Starline
exactly.
Yeah.
and in the high school.
Exactly. There was a wonderful storytelling festival that went on about 5 years ago, and it was a bilingual storytelling festival at the high school, and it encompassed students and professional storytellers.
Yeah, I
It
remember
was-
that.
It was wonderful. And I think what an arts commission, and again, that's the teeth, you know, is to actually be able to say, look at what we're doing, and being able to someplace that people have a place that they say, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to see, that type of thing. So yes, there's a lot still to go through here. And this isn't something you could do just in a day. But, you know, I think it'd be great if, you know, everyone wrote down, you know, 10 things. These are 10 things that I like on these other ordinances, and then see what we have that comes together. Maybe that would be a good way to start. You've done all the homework for us. And if every person said, okay, these are 10 things that I saw in all the rest of these that I think is important. And I'm sure then we can come in and there's not going to be 30 different things. There's probably, everyone's going to have things that are, the cream's going to rise to the top.
Yep.
And I thought that might be a suggestion that I had, that may be a way we could start this, because this is about all of our community.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to actually see some movement on it, and that there's some interest other than just me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess then my earlier statement isn't right then, because you're looking for the council to direct this, not so much an independent group.
Well, the council has to have an ordinance, it's my understanding, for the commission.
Create the commission.
The council has to say, yes, you can do this.
You have to create guardrails
Right.
for the commission.
So if you look.
Here's the box you need to operate in. Once you
Right.
create those rules and things, then you give the box to the commission and they go about their business.
There's an example of an ordinance from Woodstock in the packet, and that basically that ordinance creates their Arts and Culture Commission, and that's very similar to what ours would look like. So if you wanted, you know, guidelines, you just kind of fill in those blanks with what we would want.
You have to say, you know, how many members there, you know, the
Right.
boring stuff.
Has to establish the parameters, right?
Yeah.
That's why you guys are on administration.
And I think too, maybe tonight, it might be a good idea to try to decide how many members of the commission you would like to have, as well as would they be required to live in town? Some of those guidelines so that you could start scouting for members, because getting members to participate in commissions and committees has always been a challenge.
How's the tree board currently set up when it comes to that?
Those are all appointed by the mayor.
I mean, what numbers are we talking about?
Oh, we have
Six.
six.
6?
6, and they all have to live in the city.
And you're the only elected official. No, Joel.
No, Joel.
Joel's on there as
Yeah,
well.
Joel, yeah. But he was on it before he
He
was
was
on
on
it.
it
He was
before
on
he
it as an
became-
at-large. So you would want at least probably one elected official
Yeah,
on the.
ideally,
commission.
you would have one of the alderpersons would be the chairperson of the commission, since it's a advisory board to the council.
And as far as, you know, the city limits, I would, you know, District 50 doesn't just stop and end
Yeah.
at that. So I think we're going to have to look at least a little bit further out as far as who is on that board and who you know, ultimately who can participate
Right.
in that. Because
Well,
you
and-
don't want a kid living on McGuire Road all of a sudden not being
Like,
able to.
can't be part of this. Yeah, well, and then,
My only rebuttal to that would be ideally the commission would have, not necessarily budgeting authority, but certainly recommendations to the council to spend taxpayers' dollars. And we only spend in-city taxpayers' dollars. So I kind of have a little bit of a heartache with that because the commission should be
Okay.
beholden to the community
fair
that
enough.
pays the bills.
but they would be through the council.
Right, and I mean,
And you want, I think, personally, I think on the commission, you want people who have a diverse set of skills and experience and contacts, and
I would agree with that.
I don't think that, we need to limit that just to people who happen to live in the city.
to be fair, like, we would still have to prove where money is being spent either way.
Right.
So at
Yeah.
that point, if they're saying, oh, hey, I want to paint a silo out in the middle of airport, or not even airport road, like McGuire Road way out
Right.
there, we'd say, no, that's, No,
It's
we're not doing it.
about the city. But, I mean, you think of people like, at the Star Line,
Mhm.
who have been here in the community. They may not be residents of Harvard, but they've been artists who have been working in Harvard for, in some cases, decades. And it would be helpful to be able to, I think, include them if they wanted to be.
I still do, I mean, we would still have to set up a geographic boundary. I think maybe within District 50 would make sense. Like, because that, you can look that up on a map.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
or, I believe that Woodstock has live or work.
Oh, there you go.
That's true too.
So,
It's just, my concern is letting someone on who just lives too far away and never can show up.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So someone from Texas.
That, or like they live in Chicago and they
Right.
would have to take the train in and they can't make it because the train has issues and it's okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But yeah, no calling in all the time either.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
Well, again, the base information and
Yep.
how the organization or the commission is structured is up to your discretion.
6 members is probably all we're going to get.
Yeah.
well, the nice thing about 6 is it's similar to like the planning and zoning is you're probably not going to have all seats at all times, but you need enough to have a meeting.
Right. And to not have, just a couple of people dictating,
Yes.
controlling
You- you
everything
need a
that's going
commission of
on.
people.
Yeah.
So you have some diversification.
So would it be 6 and then a chair?
Is that how trees set up currently? 6 in the chair?
No,
or-
it's just set up as 6.
I think
One
if
with
we
just
just
the
mirror
chair.
that, I think we should be,
Okay.
if it's working for tree board, it should be
6 with a chair and a co-chair? So
in the 6.
included in the
Yes.
6.
I mean, does everyone else feel like that's fair?
I think so.
And then there would be at least one council person.
That'd be my recommendation.
Yeah.
so.
And the way the Woodstock one just has it is, all members shall be residents of McHenry County and at least 5 members shall live in the corporate boundaries of the city.
I think the live or work is kind of a nice thing too, potentially, like,
Yeah.
maybe resident of McHenry County, even though it's hard, we're on the border, right? Woodstock's in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, yeah.
Well, it
I
could
mean,
be resident.
Someone might live up in Wisconsin and be an artist at Starline and they work at Starline.
Say like, they
Well-
could live in Sharon and that's not far.
Yeah.
But there's also part of District 50 that's in Boone County.
I think the District 50.
I know an
border-
artist who's in,
By zip code.
I mean, how far,
or District 50.
Yeah, you could do District 50 or live or work in District. In that boundary. those
Yeah.
boundaries.
I mean, a radius would work too, it's just that gets harder if you're nitpicking on a map, but
Yeah. Yeah, I like the District 50
Live or work?
idea, live or work.
Just because if we are going to partner with the school district on anything, I think it makes sense.
Again, I know we have some teachers who, like you said, live in Sharon or Walworth, but they work at District 50.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, exactly.
and so they're here more than they are home most of the time.
And if they're interested, it would be great to be able to involve them. Yeah.
When it comes to the goals of the committee,
Dr. Book, we just need to do terms,
okay, yep, nope, sorry.
terms of members. The tree board is a year, right?
No, it's 3
3 years.
years, but then we're staggered.
They're staggered so that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so you'd have 5 potential community seats, right? Would we want to do a 3-year stagger, 2-year, like what makes sense?
I mean, I think a 3-year.
I think, yeah, considering how long it took to get this going,
Yeah.
I would hate to,
Yeah, right?
So 5 seats would be 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, and then they can be staggered. But I'd start with that the initial staggering isn't 1, 2, and 3, it's 2 and 3. And then after the 2 years, then you can, you know what I mean?
When we start up.
Yeah.
So that it,
Yeah, so that,
Would we want to include the alderperson seat as a 2-year rotation, potentially? Because like, I know every 2 years.
Yeah.
So 3 of them at 3 to start and 2 at 2.
Yeah.
And then-
yeah, that would make sense. And then you always get somebody that leaves in the middle. Yeah.
5 remaining 3.
3, 3, 2, 2.
3 years, 3 years, 2 years, 2 years.
I said 3 3s and 2 2s.
3 3s and 2 2s. Gotcha. That's only.
Yeah, but then the older person would be wherever they
Yeah,
line up with
2
the
year,
committee,
yeah.
assuming it's a 2-year rotation, technically.
Now, I'm just looking at Carrie's, and they have, for instance, a student representative from the high school.
I think if there's interest, I don't see why we wouldn't, but is there an age requirement on any committees currently?
No.
I think the other question is, this would be unpaid advisory.
Mhm.
Okay.
So when we look at students, we still have a lot of kids who go away to college. So that's something we have to consider, the age. So, are we looking at a high school student? Are we looking at a McHenry County college student? Are we looking at, again, we want them to participate. So that's just something to consider. One of the things we may want to think about is student would be, again, if we're looking at 2-year terms, a sophomore, it'd have to be a sophomore or a junior. I hesitate to have a senior involved, only because I don't want them to move away and go to college. And we can maybe check with, I don't know, a teacher recommendation, of course, but also just putting the word out there and who wants to be involved. I mean, there's, Harvard Harmony, there's the drama club, there's, of course, they have several different art classes and things at the school. And then there's, independent music groups as well. And then there are things like, again, we don't know who sews, and I don't know who sews anymore. My mother-in-law quilts. But there could, again, to try and get a variety of people. But I think a student representative, if we can find one, would be awesome. I think just having a younger person involved on it would be awesome.
I don't know that you would necessarily want to codify that, though.
No.
Because then you're
That's what I was wondering, too.
stuck with that.
Well,
Yeah.
You have to find that person, but it would definitely be a type of desire to seek that person out.
Yeah. And like you said, it's hard to get volunteers as it is, so.
Why wouldn't you, yeah, well, I would make that person like an extra.
I was thinking that too,
Including-
potentially like one or two advisory non-voting seats potentially, but like, on the committee. And no commitment to more than a year.
Yeah, well, I mean, like he's got up there now, you got 5 members that are, boom, have additional members that you can have.
True.
Basically. And, but of those members that, are additional, like one student.
Well, I mean, to be fair, this isn't just arts, this is also culture too, so.
Yes.
We have, I know the Chamber of Commerce does some stuff with the Dia de Muertos, but like, there's potential for that side as well.
Yes. Yes. I mean, when you talk about cultural, though we don't talk about it very often, Chemung is an Indian name. And there's Native American, Native American culture that's here. There's all types of things and ways that this could, go. And and it's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, Bigfoot.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a,
Big Chemung,
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history in this area that we've sometimes forget about. And again, but yeah, I'd like to see us back to what you had said, Jay. A student in a advisory position, kind of an additional, if we can get one, would probably be great. Non-voting, someone to come in with fresh ideas and
Right.
that type of thing.
That would always be an open to it. My only concern is somehow magically you have 50 students who want to participate. It's like, okay, well, you all can't be here at the same time. Like,
If we get 50 students who want to participate, I would let them all in.
exactly. I know, right? Yeah.
the whole drama club here.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, I'm sorry, mission statement you were going to talk about, or?
Yeah, I was just wondering because like we have some things bolted there and we were talking about potentially reviewing, finding things we like from other cities and pulling that in. I'm just wondering, like at the high level, what is the intended goal for this commission to accomplish?
Well, I think that's on the first page. the
Well, I'm
draft
asking like without the
here.
bullets, like what's the actual like mission? Like it's they're not money spending, they're sending things, right? So it's saying, okay, we want to bring people here, but we have to start asking, okay, well, how's that going to happen, right?
So I think when Alderwoman Platt-Miller was talking at the very beginning, what she said is kind of summed up in the first bullet point of the draft, and that's, access or increase citizen access to arts and culture by providing leadership, advocacy, and support to displays and activities that enrich vitality. So I think probably one of the main goals would be to gather the information on what's available and get it out there to the community, right? To act as that central hub. And then from there, it kind of builds itself.
Yeah, I mean, because the council's not the right group or the right space to be having those conversations, right?
Agreed.
Like with the trees, with the tree board. So having someone with that charge to be thinking about, okay, arts, culture, how do we
Support it.
support
And then-
this and expand it?
Yeah, and then it also
Celebrate
goes on to what the next agenda item is.
Well, that's my wonder
Yes.
because like it's half of this is educational, the other half is hopefully taking away some red tape and getting some things moving.
Right?
Yes, and of course, and then having some, guidelines as well, and promoting public art. There's, I see it all the time because I subscribe to it, but the Art Council sends out, hey, there's this, and there's funding, and submit your art here, and it all goes on, but unless you subscribe to the Illinois Art Council
Right.
emails, you're not going to do that. So again, as you said, Deb, for that information, ways to get that out there and let people know about it. But then also, again, when we start talking about, well, someone wants to put a mural up or what, wow, we did get some funding for, some type of public art. We've got, we found some. Now what do we do? And how do we know if this is what we want? I mean, we've always had a cow in town. Maybe we want butterflies too, or, spaceships. I don't know.
Goats.
You just say roads.
Goats.
Oh.
But, I mean, Jay, it's the idea of the fire hydrants.
Yes, right.
Well,
You know, I mean,
imagine-
that's like a huge, that would be an amazing
Yeah.
project,
Yeah, there's
you
a
know?
community in here that did manhole covers, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
fully asking for my benefit, I'm asking for recording's sake as well.
Right,
Yes, of
yes.
course.
Oh, yes.
So I envision the commission as like a resource, right? A go-to for,
Yeah.
I want to do this. Oh, you need to go to the Arts and Culture Commission, for that, right? As well as oversight, so that things don't get, out of hand. And then, at some point funding
Yeah.
and that type of.
Well, and you have, I mean, I've been on the council just long enough to have been through several situations where we had some, I don't want to say extra money, but some surprise money, like from selling land or whatever, where there were opportunities. And I can remember there was somebody who wanted to do a mural from the high school, and we had said, well, okay, if you can raise, the rest of the money you need, we'll put in this amount, because we had some discretionary funds that weren't allocated to anything else. And we said, yeah, we will contribute to that. It didn't happen, but, the council then has that
Sure.
opportunity. What's that?
Is that money still available?
No.
Fund balance.
Yeah,
So, yes, it is available,
Yeah.
but it's in the fund balance.
Right.
yes.
Never got spent.
It's so,
Well, yeah, no, I like the idea of doing this. I think I've been on the council for 4 or 5 years, I can't remember. But it seems like when we go about doing something for arts and culture, it's pretty much just, bam, let's do this, or bam, no direction.
Right.
There's no direction. It's just, this came up, like you said, well, we have a little bit of money, right, boom,
Yeah.
and then boom, and where are we gonna put it?
Yeah.
So, I like the idea of having something organized and some thought put behind it, and have some structure. And I don't think it needs to be, crazy right out of the box. I think it can be something, fairly,
I mean,
fairly
there,
easy.
there have been ideas already, tossed out there just with citizens, and, we've got the bathrooms over at Washington Park. Wouldn't that be a great place for some public art on the side of that building?
You don't want them all brown?
It's your ward. Do you want them all brown?
That was there.
Viaduct it.
No, and you see, and that's something else that needs to be discussed, because I just drove into Chicago the other day, and what you would think was graffiti, the type of art it was on this parking structure, looked phenomenal.
I know what you're talking about.
And so that wasn't graffiti, that was intentional. And so again, being able to say, okay, you know what, someone comes in and says, you know what, we really want to see some quote unquote true street art. Well, we can't just say, I would hate to have us be so limited that we say no, because because we've never done that before.
Right.
Which is, I hear that a lot. But to have a council, an arts council and a group that says, hey, you know what, we think this is pretty cool. This is what we're going to bring to city council. Here's what it's going to look like. And again, not the stuff you saw under the bridge.
Some of those arts are pretty darn good.
Well, that's the thing. Some of it can be, incredible. But then that's informing the public too. And that's the other part of that, is letting the public know, hey, okay, this isn't some kid who tagged this. This is something we planned.
It's on the website.
Yes.
I think, obviously Annamarie is really excited about this, but she's not going to be alone. Some of the other committees, I know that there's a hard time, getting members, but I think that this is so rich in our community that you're going to have more people want to do this than you anticipate.
I hope so.
I think it's exciting, and and I'm surprised we don't have it already, being, living here my whole life and being, working for the city for 20 years. I can say that, art is rich in the community, and there's, besides, what's going on at Starline, which people travel all over for, take the train in from the city, and other communities, they're coming here for that, but there's also musicians, there's also writers, that kind of tour around to different communities, but they live here, I think. And I love the idea of at least one student from the school being involved, and maybe that's something that, is a teacher recommendation, or perhaps, it's voted on by their peers, and that might be like a one-year term thing that to avoid them going to school, or, their availability with sports and everything else. But I think you're going to be shocked at how many people are going to be excited about it.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
And we might need to, widen the range just to bring people in that have new ideas and want to bring something to our community and show off what they have or what they like to do.
And I think that's the exact, I so agree with you that, when we do have this and we get the boundaries in, I'm hoping that we get artists from outside of our area who say, you know what? Harvard would be a great place for me to do this.
Yeah.
And then they come to us and say, even though we're not from here, we want to do this here.
Because in some ways, I mean, we're a blank slate for that. I mean, we don't have that. We don't have the public art going on yet. So,
And it's amazing, the people you meet. I have a card from a woman who was just painting on the street, and she ended up being the first, she's the female muralist who has that big bunny rabbit in Chicago, and there's this big bunny rabbit that she painted, and she was just painting, over at Millennium Park, just kind of sketching stuff out, and I got to talking to her. She says, yeah, that's my mural. I'm actually the first woman artist to have a mural in the city of Chicago.
Wow.
So, I got her card. I mean,
yeah. Well, and just, in the Harvard area, we have some world-class artists in this area. I mean, yeah, that are amazing. So they recognize, that this is a pretty special area, and so I think Clayton's right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Where are we going with this?
Okay.
So I think.
So what's the next step?
I think we could create the commission and codify it based on the decisions that we've made. And you could determine the purpose and the mission statement after the commission was created, right? That could be something that could be done collectively as a group. The only other question then would be, if you look at the example ordinance that's in the packet.
From Woodstock?
Yeah, there's a requirement that they have added, and that is that they have to have some kind of experience in an art, and they've listed the, whether it's, painting, performing arts, writing, crafts, film, video, as well as experience with fundraising and charitable giving and personal effectiveness with team building and community outreach. You
Wait,
don't-
do they say everybody has to have those?
all members shall. So I don't know that you want to go that far.
I'm going to take it back, Clayton. We're not going to get anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a little restrictive, especially if you're going to do, your advisory student, right? Or advisory member of, the chamber, or what you're going to do.
That's.
I don't think you have to put that in there.
No.
I
And
like the
obviously
first
this-
line.
Just note that you didn't have to have all of those things. These were the recommendations for criteria for selection for people who may have experience in these areas.
Right.
Oh, okay. Other
Yes.
criteria for selection may include, okay.
Right.
In other
Okay.
words, ideally, the selectees would have some direct connection with an art form. Not all of those art forms,
But one
Yeah,
of those
right.
in the list.
or fundraising, which is also, in charitable giving is also would be a very beneficial skill set to have.
And I could also, ask our legal counsel to draft something for us. I'm sure they have
Yeah.
several templates they can use that would be acceptable as a criteria that would not exclude people.
Right. Do write and storytell, so I do, have a couple of those. Nothing published yet, but.
Well, and you have a sincere, motivated belief that art is important to the life of a community and nourishes human
That's-
development.
That's the most important
There you
part.
go.
That is the most important part. It really, as you mentioned, that first line is
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah.
So I think if I had something drafted for the next admin meeting for approval, then we could get it on
Sure.
city council agenda.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
would
so
be-
September.
Actually, probably October.
Well, admin meets in September.
We do, but I don't think the auditor's going to be ready yet. So we
Oh.
might push that one to October.
Oh,
We just haven't discussed that yet.
okay, okay, okay.
But we could go September if you wanted to do an extra
We've got a
meeting.
lot of things already, don't we,
We
on
have
the September? Just
two
two?
things
Okay. Okay,
that we could move to October as well.
okay,
We can talk about that.
okay,
We'll talk before the council meeting.
okay.
So I'll get them started on that then, if that's the direction and.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's great.
All right,
What are you looking at me for?
because you wanted action. What are we going to do here?
Very much.
Okay, moving on to item number 13, discussion on mural policy code.
So this is actually on here, on the agenda, just to kind of put on the radar. Right now, we had a business in town come to us about a large sign that would actually more qualify for a mural, because it was too big to be a business sign. Yet we have no policy, we have no code or anything to define what that would look like or what we would and wouldn't allow. So we need to start thinking about that.
Sign?
Well,
Mural
what is a
slash-
sign and what is a mural, right?
Yes,
What
Yeah,
defines
what
a sign
defines that?
versus a mural?
that's, yeah. So
Oh, interesting.
may I
Yes.
just interject something? I did send a letter out, and I think you folks
Yes.
received it. And not
in the
having seen
packet.
this, not having seen this actual, before I sent the letter, my first thing is if it's got your business name on it, it's not a mural. If it's got the artist's name on it, it's a mural. And that's my second thing. This is very obviously AI generated. And I really think that any public art, again, a sign is a sign.
Mhm.
If admin wants to do something with a sign and have something there, to me, this is a sign
Right,
because it has a business name on it and it's promoting a business.
exactly.
So, businesses can do what they want as far as AI. I don't know how, again, that works with admin or with the thing. But when we talk about a mural, when we talk about public art, I am very, very passionate that we make sure that an artist actually submits and works on the public art. And it's, again, it's not my intent. I know a lot of artists do use different tools, Photoshop and stuff to enhance their pictures and that kind of thing. And that's not what I'm saying, that they shouldn't do that. But I'm saying that art should be for artists. And again, to me, as a member of the community, this is a sign.
Yeah.
And even writing, I mean, all those, there's,
Yeah,
College students intern.
even applications for scholarships.
yeah.
I mean, it is a little hypocritical that we're going to be using AI to translate.
True.
So I do agree though. And the thing too is like in the case of this business, if they were to have a sign of their name separate from a mural, I think that'd be okay because the mural would be separate from the name, but like within it, it is an ad.
So I think we need to look again at the UDO to see what the exact definitions of signs are. And, you know, if you're gonna go the route of something with a business name, a logo, or an artist, the artist name is not a mural, it's a sign, then if it was bigger than the UDO required size, it would come as a variance, right? So it was, I think it's been pulled.
Withdrawn.
It's been withdrawn.
They were gonna remove the name from it, so it was just kind of like an idea, then they were gonna paint it. Or wanted a welcoming picture or mural for Harvard, not necessarily itself.
To be fair, that's a good spot for one.
Yeah.
What's that?
It is a good spot for one.
Oh, it's
yeah.
a great spot,
Yeah.
Now, have we looked at, for instance, Belvedere's, what their code is?
That's
Ended
you.
up looking into that.
I didn't.
I did not go any further with
They
Belvedere.
advertise themselves as the city of
The
murals.
city of
Right.
murals.
They have
they
a
do.
lot of ordinance around it. I'll say that.
Yeah, so I think what we have to determine is what the definition is first. And then from there, do you want to do a UDO, you know, a code for murals? Do you want it to be an internal policy?
I mean-
Is the art commission going to decide on what it looks like, you know? But for now, if we get any more requests, you know, at this point, the only option we have is to treat it as a sign. And then if they want to do something like was in the packet, they would have to come to planning and zoning and ask for a variance on that. Until we get something established. So we need to get something
Yeah,
established.
we need to
at
get
some
something
point
established, but that process is a good one for what we have right now.
For the, right.
For right now, that's
Yes.
good. You know, murals, I would envision that if someone has an actual mural and they have a place, that they would go to the Arts Commission, and then the Arts Commission would present that to, you know, kind of like any other committee.
Right.
To be fair, maybe we wait to make ordinance until we have the Arts Commission. But to the same thing, though, I mean, we have it happen quite often in planning and zoning where you approve a thing and then they don't do exactly what they advertised. So that's a whole different concern, and guardrails that have to be put up around that too.
And then, you know, you have different options. Woodstock classifies murals on private properties as signs. Public property, it's a mural. So it goes through a different
Yeah.
process depending on what type of property it's on as well. So
Which
there's
that
a whole
makes-
bunch of
yeah.
different things that need to be looked at, but
Which that makes sense to me,
Yes.
but then there can be a public, sort of public commissioned sign, mural
Right.
on private property, you know, where you have an agreement
I mean,
with the,
Yeah, a business wall is private property.
right. But
And
if they
most-
consent to having a mural
Right.
there that is commissioned, yeah,
but without
For-
a code,
right.
it's a
right.
sign.
Yes.
And if it's too big, then it
Yeah.
requires a variance.
Right.
So it
There-
kind of like a,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know there was many years, I mean, like probably 30 years ago, there was a lot of talk, that, what's cool, is it Cool Music Stop still? I don't even know what the name of the,
Yes.
yeah. That,
Vix.
oh,
okay.
yeah, Vix.
Yeah.
yeah, but when you get off the train,
Oh, that
you look at
wall.
that wall. And so if you had like a three-dimensional painting on there or something like that, that would be great. And again, you know, I know someone an artist had approached the owner but then, you know, looking at the wall, it was too much. And so,
Well, actually, at the owner at that time, I had lots of conversations with him, and he was willing to go forward with it. Of course, we didn't have any code to dictate it, but one of the caveats was he wanted the city to pay for his tuck pointing.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah.
that was kind of a no-go.
right. I wasn't on council at that time. I just heard what, you know, you hear on the streets kind of thing.
Yep.
You know.
No, I had
but-
lots of conversations, but you know, he's willing to do something for the community
As long as the.
as long as I could get my tuck pointing done on that same time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we could not come to
Yeah.
that agreement.
But again, so that would be a public-private,
Yes, right.
you know,
But definitely there needs to be rules where, you know, policy or procedures for the differences between public installation art and private. You know, ensuring that we're not running afoul of First Amendment.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
there are some legal repercussions there too. So
So that will be, you know, once we get the Arts and Culture Commission established, then we'll probably be coming to that commission with some kind of mural policy request or some oversight.
We still have business, right? I mean, the Arts Commission will have business when they get there, so.
Yeah,
Oh,
they'll
yes.
they'll have work to do.
Yeah.
They'll have work to do.
Yes.
They'll have one main first task, so, yep,
There you go.
for sure. Okay, that's all I had on,
Great,
just putting it in your brain.
thank you. So no action. Okay, oh, thank you. My computer just stopped. Okay, new business, item 14. Any new business? John? No, okay. Okay, item number 15, adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we are adjourned 8:15.
Thank you guys for letting me interrupt your meeting.
Oh, no, thank you.